my budgeting series. So there's a couple of different budgeting videos that are coming your way. I wanted to show you the methods and the techniques that I'm using for budgeting, and I wanted it to be useful for you. I am going to be having the tools that I use, and I'm a big DIYer, so I am going to be at some point in time featuring these tools on an Etsy shop. So stay tuned, that is coming. But first, I want you to see my number one tool that I utilize, and that is my budgeting notebook. So for my notebook, it is definitely a DIY type of thing. It is a composition notebook. It was something that my son had that he was not utilizing. He had some surplus school supplies. So I was like, I am going to use this notebook. I like it. I like the way it feels. I like the way it looks. I like the way it's bound. So I utilize the budgeting notebook. I created a budgeting notebook out of this composition notebook. And I also bought some folders that were on sale, like at Office Depot, and utilized those for my cover for my budgeting notebook. It has seen better days. It looked really cute when I first did it, but it is so useful for me. And I wanted to say that in 2019, I also had a notebook, something that I ordered from Amazon. It was a monthly budgeting book. And I liked it for a little bit of time, but really for after July, I kind of fell off with trying to use it because it just didn't accommodate what I had and what I needed. So that was one of the things that I changed up for 2020. I started my own budgeting notebook, and it has been awesome. I'm going to give you a little tour of it. So, simple and plain. I included some scriptures in here to ground me as far as why I believe that prosperity is for my family, and to always try to keep myself in a prosperous mindset. So some of the scriptures that I included in here were Deuteronomy 8 and 18, and then Proverbs 4 and 7, because that is definitely something that I ask God for consistently, is for wisdom. I need wisdom. I need wisdom to handle my money correctly. I need wisdom to budget correctly. I need wisdom for all of that good stuff. So then I also included some categories of sinking funds and saving funds, and I was going to track that through the year. I kind of didn't do that. I only really utilized that one time. And then I have pages that I start out a month, and I have a couple of pages for each month, but I start out a month, and I just have a little template that I paste in for my month. I like to write in my days of the month. I don't know why I like to do that, but I like to do that. I don't know why, but I just have to do it every month. And then I will paste in my month, the title of the month, and then a couple of other stickers I will put in there. There were some months that I was like super good with my stickers, but I had this for my cover, and this is kind of how this whole thing evolved. I always do my bills at a glance, so I will put my the date and what bill is due on that date and the amount needed and all of that good stuff. So I'll have a bills at a glance page, and then I will have an income and expense page, which this has changed, But what I was doing, I was actually tracking the deposits that I would get on pay dates and then tracking all of the expenses that would come out. So what I would try to do is, like, as soon as I got paid, I tried to have like every single expense for that period of time come out of my account no more than anywhere from 1 to 3 days. And it depends on what item that I was paying and how long that transaction takes to process. So I was doing that and just trying to keep track of all that stuff and keep track of food in here, like grocery bills and things like that. And that was working for me for a little while, but then that kind of stopped working. So it evolved once again. So I can show you where I kind of ended up with this. But, you know, some months I was, you know, super good at color coordinating and putting the stickers in there. But let's just take June. I'll take the paper clip off of that. And we can see that with the month of June, I did my bills at a glance, and I kind of goofed up on the month of June, and I had to like paste in some pages. I did my income and expense. And so this part was like really taking me a lot of time. Like, I was going between, should I track every single expense that hits my main checking account, or should I just track the major things? And I kind of went back and forth with that. So actually I just stopped tracking it. That's kind of what I ended up doing. But I just wanted to show you the headers that I had for each section, and that the month of June was very, very funky looking. It looks a little bit better as I move on here. So, yeah, so sometimes I wasn't so good about putting my headers in, but I think in the month of September, that is really where I stopped tracking the income and expense, because it just got to be very exhausting. So, what I did was, and now I'm here in the month of December. So what I did is that I utilized another tool. I utilized a budget sheet that I created for my pay periods. So I will do at least 2 of these per month, and this is what the budget sheet looks like. So, and this is my current budget sheet. So I will put a date range on here. The month, the paycheck date was 12/16. And so I will include my amount that I got, my husband's amounts that he got in this pay period, and total that up. Then I will go through and I'll, you know, go back to my budget book, but I can easily tell, like, for a period of time, like the 16th through basically the 30th of the month, or the 31st of the month. But the 31st starts a new pay period. So the 16th through the 30th, these are the bills that I have. So what I will do is I will include those bills for that period of time on this sheet. I will also include their due dates, and I will go and check these off when I do pay them. So I will also keep track of the funds that I am putting into the sinking fund categories I have, and then I'm also tracking my extra debt payment, because when I especially do my credit card payments, I always pay extra on those as I am becoming debt free. And so then I will do a sinking fund summary, and I will take this amount and put it with the previous amount that I had for sinking funds and give a new total for each of those. Right now, what I'm doing is I am all of my sinking funds are basically in one place. I keep those in a Capital One account, you know, a high yield savings account as well. So that is where all of my sinking funds are. I don't have different accounts for each sinking fund. I may get to that point in time where I want to do that, but I'm not quite there now. And then I have a place on the sheet where I'm tracking my envelopes as well. And I've really, the cash envelope system, I do like it as far as for saving additional funds, but I really haven't been using that so much for groceries. Earlier in the year, I was using that for groceries, but then it just became kind of inconvenient just because of how banks are right now. You can't go in. There's always a long line in the teller line. There's always a long line at the ATM machine. So I just kind of really got out of the habit of having to go to the bank, and because what I was doing before is I was withdrawing all of this money from the bank, the money for my envelopes, the money for my sinking funds, when I was just keeping my sinking funds in envelopes. So opening up the Capital One account was a big deal for me because it just allowed me to transfer things instead of having to go to the bank, get cash. I mean, that's just, it's kind of crazy to be doing that for me. It just does not work well for me. So I wanted to show you that budgeting tool that I have. And like I said, I will be doing a series each week where I am doing the budgeting per pay period. It stays the same a lot. I do have some new things that are going to be happening in the month of January for next year, for 2021, and I'm going to share that in another video with you. So you guys stay tuned. Thanks a lot for watching. And like I said, I'm going to be featuring some of these items in an Etsy store. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye-bye.